Good morning, race fans, and welcome back to the Metro Ford Cup Series here at the Old Bashwoods Racing League. Today, we're at the virtual Miami Speedway Homestead, where we've got 150 laps on the mile-and-a-halfer. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second. As right now, single car qualifying is underway. And let's see who we can get out on track. Looks like a lot of drivers kind of wait until late in the run to put in their qualifying times, as it is Lloyd Moore, the number 26 machine, in the top spot here of qualifying. Looks like John Hinchcliffe may be getting ready to go out on track, as everyone else is down pit road. Only 11 people have put down time so far here this morning. Ushimi's getting a few more practice laps in that 56 machine. It looks like we've also got Eddie Jones rolling out on track and the number 14 Chevrolet. And as always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. Both drivers and broadcasters always appreciate it. As Eddie Jones still making his way around. Moore's going to hold on to the top spot. Darrell Winninger, the number 15 machine, also rolling out on track as Jones makes his way for his first timed attempt. Jones crossing the line to 33.31. That's going to move him immediately up into 5th. John Hinchcliffe also rolling out on track, as well as Dwayne MacArthur. Still waiting for Tom Ogle, number 11 machine, to make its way out, as he is our current points leader in this round of the chase. We've got 8 drivers still in the running. Tom Ogle, Eddie Jones, Mike Watts, Greg McDaniel, Dean Gear, Dwayne MacArthur, Ken Huff, and John Hinchcliffe. Those are the current 8 still in the running. Next week, we head to Martinsville Speedway, and then we're going to whittle it down to just 4 drivers. November 6th, where the championship will be decided. Jones puts it in the 3rd spot, a 33.17. Let's check in on current points leader Tom Ogle in the Pumpkin Spice White Claw, back number 11. Got to get down to a 33.03 if he wants to dethrone Lloyd Moore, holding on to that provisional qualifying position. MacArthur moves up to 6th with a 33.18, tying with John Hinchcliffe, who's sitting in 5th. Dan Hill, Robert Grisco also out on track, as well as Greg McDaniel in the number 30 machine, sponsored by Kimball.net. Let's see what Ogle does here in his first timed lap. Where is he going to slot in at? He's clicked off at 33.28. That's good enough for 7th right now. Dwayne MacArthur crawls up to 2nd, his second timed lap, a 33.14. But right now, Lloyd Moore kind of in a class of his own here. Over a 10th faster than anybody else out on track. With that 33.02, he was able to make happen. Let's see what Ogle can do as he comes through 3 and 4 the final time. His last chance. What's the time going to be? And Ogle not quite able to get it done. A 33.09. He's going to slot in for 2nd. Checking in on Dan Hill, the number 10 machine. His opening lap, a 33.93. Currently qualified 18th. Hill, does he improve? Yes, he does. Moving all the way up to 2nd, edging out Ogle and MacArthur. but still almost, look at that, tying with Lloyd Moore. So keep an eye out on Moore and Hill. These drivers have almost identical pace here. Let's see what Josh Robinson is going to be able to do. He's currently slotted in 14th. Greg McDaniel moves up to 10th. Brian Lindsay, Garrett Cottingham, John Hastings have not put down times yet. We've got 3 triple-digit drivers coming out today. Excuse me, 2. Victor Ryan and Henry Besaw. Our 2 rookie drivers. Josh Robinson finishes qualifying, and it looks like 3rd is where he's going to settle in at. Lloyd Moore cannot be touched here in qualifying. Absolutely ripping around the banks here at Homestead. And that is going to wrap up our qualifying session. Well, let's go ahead and run through the grid for today's main event. Starting on pole, Lloyd Moore in the number 26 machine. Dan Hill starts 2nd. Josh Robinson starting 3rd. Tom Ogle starting 4th. Dwayne MacArthur starts 5th. Dakota Pischke starting 6th. Eddie Jones starts 7th. Joey Buscemi starting 8th. John Hinchcliffe starts 9th. Michael Watts starting 10th. Greg McDaniel starts 11th. Dean Gear starting 12th. Cycling it back to Robert Garisco starting 13th. Alan Wanamaker starting 14th. Lee Warsdell starting 15th. Brian Glass starts 16th. Mike Schrader starts 17th. Jonathan Green starting 18th. Daryl Winninger starts 19th. Larry Corey starting 20th. John Hastings starting 21st. Henry Besaw starts 22nd. Victor Ryan starting 23rd. And Garrett Cottingham starts 24th. And then we've got Brian Lindsay. He will round out the 25-car grid here today as we get ready for 150 laps here at Homestead. Again, thank you to the fans, friends, and family tuning in, supporting the broadcast, as well as our league sponsors, especially our friends over at emetro4.com. If you're looking for a new or used vehicle, check them out, emetro4.com. Some of the best inventory and prices in the country right now. As well as a brief thanks to Victor Lane Sports coming on board this season as a sponsor. Kimball.net, another sponsor of the Metro Ford Cup Series. And of course, our friend Dr. Amy, the Thyroid Fixer. And here we go, the opening laps here at Homestead. It's going to be Hill and Moore on the front row. Robinson and Ogle linked up right behind. Dwayne MacArthur also in the top 5 here. As Lloyd Moore is going to hold on to the race lead, guarding that inside line. Oh, and already there goes Moore. Looks like Dan Hill collected in that one. And the field goes careening around. Dwayne MacArthur may have also been tagged in that. Not a good start here as Moore is heavily wounded. What happened? Oh, grabbed a little bit too much apron, careens up the track, absolutely clears out Dan Hill. Dwayne MacArthur did not get away unscathed as well. And thankfully, the field did not stack up worse than that. Lloyd Moore did have to take a tow back to pit road, so after qualifying the top spot, he is most likely done and out of this evening. Dan Hill's going to have some damage as well as MacArthur, who had to take a tow back to pit road. Oh, that's not good. MacArthur, I know for certain, was in the Chase Championship. Let's check in and see if Moore was as well. No, Moore was not within the top 8. So the only driver involved in that I saw when it crashed was MacArthur. And he is going to have an uphill battle after this one. Hill's going to come down pit road to fix the damage. Robinson stays out. Let's see Alan Wanamaker also down pit road. Very uncharacteristic here to see a caution so early on. As on pit road, it's Dan Hill, Alan Wanamaker, Brian Lindsay taking service, Lloyd Moore, Dwayne MacArthur also on pit road. So let's try this again. Getting an absolute whopping 0 laps of green flag racing so far. We'll try and get these drivers slotted back up double file, see if we can make it happen and get a race going. Hopefully not a sign of things to come, as now it's Robinson and Jones your front row, Pischke, Ogle your second row, Watts, Hinchcliffe your third row, Hill, Moore, and MacArthur still on pit road getting those repairs done. They will fall several laps down here. Pace car is in. Green flag is out. We're going to try it once more, starting on lap 5. Robinson's going to have that inside line. You can see Tom Ogle's number 11 machine tucked in behind him, but here comes Eddie Jones on the middle groove here at Homestead. I think the field may be a little bit more cautious on this start. Robinson Jones side by side heading into turn 3. Robinson briefly taking over the race lead here as Jones fires back, carrying a little bit more momentum. Drivers haven't had much chance to get too much heat in the tire. It looks like John Hinchcliffe feel a little pressure there from Greg McDaniel. McDaniel on a pretty good run. They can bowl that net sponsor, number 30 machine as the field tries to figure out who they're going to get in line with. We are still too wide for majority of the field here. And Eddie Jones getting a little bit of a breakaway, about a half second over the rest of the field. Mike Schrader also in the Hornet's Nest. He's up 8 spots in that number 4 machine. You can see Dakota Pischke just ahead of him. Pischke's sporting a new paint scheme here this evening. Don't think I've seen that one before. There's Brian Glass's 87 machine also squarely in the mix. Go back up a little bit closer towards the front. Oh, I was going to say we were very briefly 2 wide, 2 rows deep. Jones still holds on the race lead, 6/10 ahead of Josh Robinson. And behind Robinson, there's Hinchcliffe, Watts, Ogle, McDaniel. Putting on a side-by-side display for our drivers here. Yeah, Dustin Martinson makes a good point. Josh Robinson got his number 23 machine back underneath him. Al moved to the 74, so good to see Robinson back in his trademark number. That was Alan Wanamaker giving up the 23 to the previous champion, making his return. Checking back in on Eddie Jones. A comfortable 1 second lead to Josh Robinson. And gaining each and every lap here. So Jones wanting to get this thing going as quickly as he can, putting as much of a gap behind him as physically possible. As we pan further back, 2 distinct packs here. We've got the top 13 and a tidy bunch that go back to Brian Lindsay's number 24 machine. He's up 11 spots so far as our hard charger. With Dean Gear, John Means, Joey Buscemi, Larry Corey right here in this second pack of drivers. Now looks like Lindsay getting it going. Making a move around Lee Warsdell. And just side-by-side racing wherever you look here in Miami. Robinson holds on to second. Michael Watts moving up to third. And you can just see how busy of a racetrack it is from about third place back. This is the current battle for 14th. Lee Warsdell, Gear side by side. Warsdell up on the high line. Gear was looking down low, didn't get the run he was quite looking for. But Dean Gear not willing to let him get away. There's Brian Lindsay's number 24 machine also on the inside line. We are starting to get a few laps clicked off here. Now we're not quite sure. Actually, let me check my notes. We may have some inside data as far as what green flag runs are going to look like. Expecting about 65 laps in a fuel run here at Homestead. So we'll extend that very slightly with that opening caution. Very few drivers came down pit road under caution for service. Jones still holds on the race lead. Robinson and Watts your top 3. Hinchcliffe and Garisco seeing who can stay inside the top 5. Penny back up. There's Robert Garisco the inside line. John Hinchcliffe and Greg McDaniel all jockeying for position just inside his top 5. As it looks like maybe the field's starting to calm down a little bit, be happy running single file formation. As now the tire wear is going to start to drop off ever so slightly. You know who's not happy sitting there is Mike Schrader's number 4 machine. As he works the outside line against Brian Glass with 87. Looks like Tom Ogle, Robert Garisco taking a couple different line choices through there as well. Ogle down low, the number 11. Garisco up high, 28. As they both try and catch up to Greg McDaniel's number 30 machine. Now it looks like Dwayne MacArthur may have retired from this event. And that may spell the end of his championship chase here. Schrader and Ogle still side by side, right behind now Garisco. Now Schrader's got good momentum. He's up 9 spots. Ogle is down 3. But Ogle may be playing a little bit of safe here, knowing that MacArthur had that terrible misfortune on the opening lap. Realizing he just needs to finish well and try and lock himself into the next round of playoffs where we're going to take 4 drivers. Eddie Jones is second in points. Has got to be happy making up some ground on the rest of the competition here. Let's check in on our rookie drivers. Alan Wanamaker, the number 74 Ford Mustang, he is sitting 22nd out on track. No, excuse me, my apologies. Wanamaker, the double-digit 74. I was trying to get over to Victor Ryan's 119. He's sitting 21st. And just ahead of him is Henry Besaw. It looks like somebody may be coming down pit road, or maybe got a little bit loose out of 4. I think that was Jonathan Green's 37 machine. Good to see our triple-digit drivers doing so well up front. Eddie Jones now has company for the first time of this main event. Josh Robinson, Michael Watts, second and third, have rapidly closed the gap to the Raging Cajun Eddie Jones. And these top 2 drivers have about a half-second breakaway over John Hinchcliffe and Greg McDaniel to round out the top 5 here. Robinson takes a peek to the inside line. Oh, and it looks like he may make it happen here as they're side by side for the race lead. Watts looking for an opening as well, so Robinson takes back over the lead. And it looks like Watts going to move up into second here. John Hinchcliffe in fourth. You can just see Greg McDaniel in fifth, but McDaniel has company from Ogle. Jones falling back to fourth. I'm not sure if he used up too much tire or what the issue may have been for the number 14 machine. Hands down the fastest driver early on in this run. And that is going to give Robinson and Watts a massive breakaway up at the peak of this run. There's Robinson and Watts linked up. A 3/4 of a second advantage over Hinchcliffe, who's got to be happy making his way up into third here. There's Mike Schrader, Dakota Pischke, Daryl Winninger. Oh, Winninger, hold on to it. Losing the back in there, and that number 15 machine just ahead of Brian Lindsay, our hard charger, number 24. Winninger just about lost the back end there. And that shows how easy it is for just a little bit of a bobble to almost wreak havoc here at Homestead. Winninger doing a good job though, holding on to it, but now he's got that hard charger. Brian Lindsay breathing down his neck. Lindsay's up 13 spots, sitting in 12th. Joey Buscemi, Lee Warsdale, Dean Keir, John Hastings right behind these two. You could just see the 56 of Buscemi starting to peek his nose up mix, as well as the 99 of Warsdale. Henry Besaw, one of the rookie drivers, coming with the triple digit. I want to say Besaw is a returning driver here in the Metro Ford Cup Series. I'll try and get confirmation on that. But he's side by side with Garrett Cottingham, 77th in the battle for 17th. Looks like Cottingham scraping the outside wall. Not too much damage on the side of that machine, but definitely losing a whole lot of momentum. Checking back in on race leader, Josh Robinson. A 6/10 second advantage over Michael Watts in second. And a 1.2, excuse me, Watts has a 1.2 second advantage over John Hinchcliffe in third. So the top three getting a little bit strung out here. We still have 22 drivers out on track, 22 on the lead lap. Dan Hill has retired from this main event, as it appears so has Dwayne MacArthur. Lloyd Morris sitting in pit road after that lap 1 incident. Oh, who is that? That was Brian Lindsay losing the back end. Almost triggering the pit entry alert that we had a driver coming down pit road. A massive save out of Lindsay as the rears start to get worn here. And drivers doing everything they can to hold on to it. Coming out of turn 4, the car tends to unload a little bit and makes it very, very difficult to hold on to. Back up front, we've got a battle for third underway. John Hinchcliffe, Tom Ogle. Ogle takes a peek to the inside line. He's going to get clear of Hinchcliffe. Here comes Jones to see if he can make some momentum as well. Now these drivers, well, we got a big blink there. So Ogle holds on to third ahead of Hinchcliffe and Jones. After a big blink. But will they be able to reel down Robinson or Watts? Or maybe these drivers are going to be on some different fuel strategies here this evening. Now if we go back to 7th place spot, there's our good friend Grandpa Pischke, chased by Robert Orisco, Brian Glass, Daryl Winninger, as well as Joey Buscemi. You can see Lloyd Moore coming out of pit road. Oh, and the battle for the top 5 heats up. Here's Eddie Jones working the inside line against Hinchcliffe. As we're going to pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen to see where that favorite driver you're following along for currently resides. Josh Robinson, a second, 1.6 second advantage over Michael Watts. Watts 2 seconds ahead of Tom Ogle. So the top 3 very spread out here. If we go back though to Mike Schrader, there's still some racing going on as Lee Warsdale pressures the inside line. Right behind, that's John Hastings, Henry Besaw running 14th and 15th. Schrader giving it everything he has, but Warsdale just able to slide up ever so slightly. And now John Hastings with Henry Besaw giving him a push, trying to capitalize as Schrader and Warsdale are still side by side. Schrader not wanting to lose that spot quite yet. Running a much higher line here compared to Warsdale. I do wonder if Schrader's able to kind of wedge that car into the banking a little bit more and prevent that snap loose condition we've been seeing out of 4 out of so many drivers. But when he's up against that wall, you can already see the black stripes around the safety barrier. Drivers that got just a little bit too close for comfort. And right ahead of these guys, there's Joey Buscemi, Daryl Winninger fighting for the top 10. Right behind Brian Glass is number 87 machine. Buscemi's down 2 spots. Glass is up 7. Now it seems from about 12th to 16th place is where all the action is. As there's Schrader and Hastings once again putting on a show behind them. Warsdale and Cottingham have had their own side-by-side battles. But you can definitely tell the lap times starting to slow down. Your race leader, Josh Robinson, a 34.77 his last time by. Fastest so far, a 33.78. So drivers already 1 second off the pace here. Mike Schrader, Henry Besaw continue the battle for 13th. Besaw in the 101. And yes, I just got confirmation there. Besaw did run in the 2021 Metro Ford Cup Series. So making his way back. This time as a triple-digit driver, he'll have to do the minimum amount of races required before he can get a double-digit back underneath him. As we watch Cottingham, the number 77 machine, a newer comer here to the Metro Ford Cup Series, recently being awarded that double-digit number. Start to show what he's been learning as he continues to push up the field, now up 10 spots gained. Still a little bit frantic though from 15th through 18th. Dean Gear, Lee Warsdale going back and forth. And we got confirmation, Dwayne MacArthur back out on track. But unfortunately about 30 laps down here. Ooh, is the field starting to stack up ever so slightly in this battle for 14th place back. As the rest of the field fairly well stretched out. Mike Schrader, Dean Gear. More side-by-side. Schrader holds on 15th place spot as Gear works the inside line. A little bit of side drafting going on. Gear looks like he may get clear here of that number 4 machine. As they are 2 wide, 2 rows deep. That's Schrader and Gear side by side. Warsdale and Lindsay side by side. Schrader running a much higher line here, able to carry a fair amount of momentum. And Gear falls back ever so slightly. Very interesting to see the different lines as you're on board the back of Dean Gear. Here comes Brian Lindsay's number 24 machine. threatening to close the gap. He can also peek Lee Warsdale's 99. Lindsay makes his way around, moving a little bit further up. Let's check in on Robert Garisco sitting in 8th. He's got Joey Buscemi behind and Greg McDaniel ahead. Now we're expecting about 20 more laps left to go before the fuel window closes for these drivers. And there's Brian Lindsay continuing his charge on the inside line of Mike Schrader. Schrader fires back, create a little bit more momentum. Get a different angle there. There we go. There's the side-by-side battle between Schrader and Lindsay. Lee Warsdale watching from behind. He's got Dean Gear tucked in behind. Ooh, Warsdale looks like he got a little bit loose there. Not as loose as Brian Lindsay's 24 machine. Lindsay's going to drop like a rock in the standings, but able to hold on to it and keep going. Looks like he had the air taken away from him and send that back in, just dancing around here. And the fans agree. Now, John Hinchcliffe's going to be the first driver down for a green flag stop, but the fans point out MacArthur does not have quit in his vocabulary. There is still plenty of time for other drivers to meet their misfortune. And MacArthur salvaged some points. John Hinchcliffe, Lee Warsdale, Larry Corey all down pit road for a green flag stop. As we've got a 3-car battle for 6 going on. Greg McDaniel, Robert Garisco, Joey Buscemi. Separated by less than a half-tenth of a second. Josh Robinson still your race leader. 5.7 seconds ahead of Michael Watts in the 84 machine. As we check in on race leader Josh Robinson. We've got 19 drivers on the lead lap, with 24 of our 25 entries still out there rolling. Let's pan back to that battle of Robert Garisco, who we're on board with in 7th. He's behind the Kimball.net sponsored Greg McDaniel's number 30 machine. And you can just see Joey Buscemi's 56 in tow as well. Now we're trying to get a little bit of a peek here. Fish saying that Greg McDaniel's number 30 machine may look like it has a little bit of damage. I believe that's going to be on the front end of it. And now Michael Watts, who was in 2nd, he's going to come down pit road for a green flag stop. And yeah, you can see the splitter bent up a little bit on McDaniel there. The front kind of crunched in a little. Dean Gear also coming down pit road for a green flag stop. So this may be a tire track more so than it is a fuel run track. Oh, and here we go. Josh Robinson, your race leader down pit road. And let's pull up the live time on the left side of your screen to see how things shape up in this green flag pit stops. Ogle, Buscemi, Whittinger, Glass, all joining Robinson down pit road. That's going to put McDaniel on screen up into 3rd with this pit strategy. Eddie Jones, Dakota Pischke make up the top 2. Robert Garisco, John Hastings, your top 5. Eddie Jones down pit road. Pischke, Garisco stays out. Hastings, Cottingham also coming down. That's going to leave about 5 drivers who have not come down pit road yet this evening. The top 5, Brian Lindsay, number 24. He came down under caution on lap 2. How long will Pischke, McDaniel, and Garisco, these top three drivers, stretch out the fuel run for? Because there's Tom Ogle's number 11 machine unlapping himself with the fresh tires underneath him. Henry Besaw down pit road for his first green flag stop of the evening. Your top four drivers have not been down pit road at all. To give those just tuning in a bit of an update, first of all, welcome, glad to have you. An interesting night here at Homestead, as now Pischke comes down pit road for his first stop, but lap 1, turn 2, I believe it was, Holstead Lloyd Moore grabbed too much apron, careened up in track, and Dan Hill and Dwayne MacArthur were heavily involved in that incident. MacArthur's back out on track, but 36 laps down from the rest of the field. So that may spell disaster for his championship hopes. Greg McDaniel comes down pit road. Robert Garisco will follow suit. Let's see if Mike Schrader does the same. It doesn't look like he's way up on the high line. So Schrader's going to go another lap here as the field starts to unlap themselves. Schrader has not been down pit road tonight. Brian Lindsay came in lap 2 under caution. Alan Wanamaker, who's going to move up to third, also came down pit road on lap 2. Michael Watts back in 8th, set the fastest lap of the race, a 33.5 after his lap 48 pit stop. No, excuse me, a 33.34, his fastest lap. Schrader really stretching the run out as Brian Lindsay comes down. But that just leaves Mike Schrader and Al Wanamaker, the two drivers who have yet to complete their green flag pit stops. Everything looks calm on the pit road deltas. Everybody doing 4 fresh tires, a full tank of gas. And how long is Schrader going to stay out for? Surely he's got to come down pit road soon. And yes, there he is down pit road. That will briefly put Alan Wanamaker as your race leader. If he opts to stay out another lap, he's got 2 more laps of fuel than Schrader after pitting under caution. So Alan Wanamaker trying to get the credit for a lap led here. There's Josh Robinson's 23 machine unlapping himself. No, taking over the race lead there. So Robinson back up in front. I believe that's going to put, yes, Michael Watts as your second place runner. John Hinchcliffe should be moving up into third here. Well, look at this busy racetrack. There's Robert Garisco, Daryl Whittinger, John Hastings, Garrett Cottingham. And a nice tight little bundle. As let's check back in on Josh Robinson, race leader. He's got Michael Watts this time much closer behind him. Robinson came down pit road on lap 49, Watts on lap 48. But this time I don't think that 84 machine of Michael Watts is going to let the 23 build up quite as big of a gap. I wonder if we're going to see Watts take a peek and try and take over the race lead here. Robinson holding on to it. Watts not getting too close to the 23. As Dwayne MacArthur comes back down pit road. I do wonder, is that a strategy call from Watts to keep clean air on the front of that 84 and avoid using too much tire up in this run? Just keeping Robinson within a comfortable distance as we are not quite to the halfway mark. I'll pan a little bit further back to John Hinchcliffe in fourth. There's Eddie Jones closing the gap. Jones with a big run against Hinchcliffe. Jones does have 5-lap fresher tires underneath them. As they also work their way through traffic. I think that was Victor Ryan in the 119. Yes, it was. Holding on to it well here. I believe Alan Wanamaker, I just heard over the radio, he may have tagged an outside wall as he rapidly falls off the pace. And there comes Dean Gears, 92 machine. Sorry, I lost myself for a second. As Wanamaker continues to fall off the pace, panning back up front. Josh Robinson still has Michael Watts in hot pursuit. As there's Mike Schrader's number 4 machine. He went for a pretty high overcut coming down pit road on lap 55. And Schrader's going to try and unlap himself against Robinson and Watts, working the outside line. That number 4 machine side by side with Watts. You got 6 to 7 lap newer tires underneath them, so well done to Schrader. Working his way on the lead lap, and now Watts going to take a peek to the lead using Schrader's draft to his advantage. Michael Watts will take over the race lead here at Homestead for the Metro Ford Cup Series. Robinson fires back at the inside line, quickly pulling a 10th on the 84. As Robinson wicks up the pace a little bit, trying to leave Watts behind him. Now, I find this interesting. For the last 5 to 10 laps, John Hinchcliffe, Eddie Jones have been linked up, running 4th and 5th here together. Jones taking a look, makes the line happen, the inside line. Almost looked like Hinchcliffe just let him have it there. So this is the point in the run where we're going to see the different strategies start to develop amongst all the different drivers. Hinchcliffe still holds on to a top 5. Way further back, we've got a battle for 10th. Lee Warsdale, Robert Briscoe up the inside line against the Miller High Life back 99 up on the high side. Briscoe slides into the 10th place position. That's going to be his 3rd spot gained over the night. We've got a report as well, the 101 of Henry Beesaw. Makes it 6 spots gained up into 16th, edging out Alan Wanamaker. Other triple-digit driver, Victor Ryan, still out on track, the 119. And Robert Narisco on a run here, also getting around Brian Glass. Moving that 28 up into 9th, making that 4th position. So Dorisco feeling good on the run here. Let's see if he keeps that momentum up. He's about 1.4 seconds back from Greg McDaniel, sitting 8th. Worsdale holding on to the 11th place spot. Gear closing the gap behind him, a half second behind. Oh, but we've got problems. John Hinchcliffe looking the wrong way here. The number 8 machine. Does the caution come out? I don't think it will, as he is thoroughly off the race line. Let's see what happened to the number 8 as he's fallen all the way back to 18th, peeking in on the number 8 machine. I wonder if it's the same turn 4 snap loose we've been seeing. It looks exactly like that. Tries to chase it. No, it's coming out of turn 2. Losing the back end. And slamming the back of the car to the inside wall here at Homestead. Tapping off the front for good measure. Hinchcliffe comes down pit road, but we avoided the caution. Robinson holding on to the race lead, 6/10 ahead of Michael Watts. Oh, look at this. There's Dean Gear working the inside line against Lee Worsdale. Hops back to the high line. You can also see John Hastings, Garrett Cottingham behind as well. Gear wants to work his way up inside that top 10. Worsdale makes it happen. Here comes Hastings to try it as well. The Gear's now going to fall back to 12th, exactly where he qualified. Hastings and Worsdale still fighting hard for that top 10 spot. Worsdale up high, Hastings blasting down low in the tide back 32. Hastings going to make it 11 spots gain now. Still our hard charger of the evening. Checking on Greg McDaniel, holding on to the 7th place spot. He's up 4 spots. You can see Robert Dorisco trying ever so much to close the gap. And there's Wayne MacArthur. Several laps down, just trying to salvage some points. Officially at the halfway mark of this main event. Let's take a look at the running order. It's Josh Robinson, Michael Watts, Tom Ogle, your top 3, Eddie Jones, Dakota Pischke, and making up the top 5. We still have 18 drivers on the lead lap as Alan Wanamaker has come down for a green flag pit stop. And we still have 24 of the 25 drivers out on track here. And what's going on here in the battle for 11th? Dean Gear, Lee Warsdale, Daryl Winninger, Garrett Cottingham, all in the fray. There's Winger, the number 15 machine. Haven't talked about him much this evening, but he's having a great race. Up 7 spots so far. Qualified 19th, has made his way up into 12th. And surrounded by some great racers. I mean, Dean Gear, Garrett Cottingham, Lee Warsdale, no strangers are running well here at the Metro Ford Cup Series. So good to see Winninger out there making it happen. And we also talked about the battle between Greg McDaniel and Robert Garisco earlier on. That is getting closer and closer. 2 tenths separating the two. McDaniel holds on to it here. Garisco moving up into 7th. Finally making his way around Greg McDaniel. A little bit further back, Garrett Cottingham, Dean Gear having their own intense battle for 12th. Now, I've been told Daryl Winninger just won the Xfinity round here at the OBRL this past week as well, so no stranger to doing well at Homestead. Still up 8 spots. Our hard charger is now, though, Garrett Cottingham, the number 77 machine, has made it 12 spots gained. Now, Cottingham, one of those drivers that's getting faster and faster as he gets a little bit more familiar, a little bit more comfortable here. His highest finish so far this season is a 15th back in Kansas. So a top 12 would be a measurable mark of improvement for the driver that's 77. And Lee Warsdale and Dean Gear just can't get away from each other. Lee Warsdale looked a little bit loose there, coming off the bank out of turn. I believe that was turn 2 as they make their way into 3 and 4. And this is what we saw earlier on, drivers losing the back end, and we knew that the night was going to set, the lights would come on here at Homestead. And that will keep the track conditions changing for these drivers. Oh, Mike Schrader showing off track here. Where'd he go? Mike Schrader's on the road course. He's lost. Schrader's going to take a tow here. Let's see what happens, Schrader, as he got lost on the road course. I think he was looking for the pit entry and missed it. So Schrader unfortunately taking some laps around the Miami Homestead road course. before taking that tow back to pit road. Dakota Pischke making his way through a little bit of traffic. It's number 17 machine of Larry Corey. And he's trying to track down Eddie Jones, number 14 machine. That'll be the upcoming battle for fourth. Here comes Pischke with a big lunge up the inside line. Pischke has 2-lap newer tires than Jones, and he will make the move for fourth. So on the short list of drivers that seem to be out of the race, Larry Corey, Mike Schrader, John Hinchcliffe, and Dan Hill have put it all in the virtual hauler. As still, Worsdale, I don't think he's found himself single file yet this evening, continuously battling with somebody else out on track. Worsdale in the 99 machine giving it his all. Losing a spot there to Brian Lindsay, still holding on to 14th. You can see Henry Besaw in the background running 15th. Oh, and Wittinger must have had a bobble, extremely off the pace. Brian Glass quickly making his way around. Ooh, it looked like Wittinger may have just ever so slightly tagged that outside wall. As the field thoroughly stretched out at this point, checking on Josh Robinson, a 6-second advantage over Michael Watts. Tom Ogle sits in third. He's about 1.7 back from your second place runner. And then Dakota Pischke, Eddie Jones make up the top 5 here. Garrett Cottingham makes a pass on Brian Lindsay. 3 drivers currently up 12 spots. John Hastings in 9th, Garrett Cottingham in 12th, and Brian Lindsay in 13th. All 3 of those drivers are up 12 positions. As the field very much spread out, 92 laps in. If drivers stay true to form, though, fuel window should be opening up for these guys. 16 drivers on the lead lap. 22 of our 25 still out there rocking and rolling. We've got Luke Gamer Vaj cheering on Hasty Hastings. Hastings sitting 9th, one of those hard chargers recently talked about. Oh, look at that, Daryl Wittinger, Brian Glass battling for the 10th place spot. Wittinger's going to come out on top here, the Xfinity winner. Lloyd Moore has come back down pit road. Floyd Moore rolling back out of pit road. Winninger holding on to the 10th place spot as Brian Glass, Garrett Cottingham, Ryan Lindsay, Henry Besaw attempt to close that gap ever so slightly. There's more rolling out of pit road on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Winninger way up against the wall there, the number 15 Chevrolet. Drivers at least 1 second off their fastest lap of the race. A good example, Michael Watts right in second. His fastest lap of the race, a 33.34. His last time by, a 35.28 here at Homestead. Checking in on Garrett Cottingham. He's got Brian Lindsay closing the gap, as well as Henry Besaw, the bright yellow number 77 Chevrolet. Trying to hold on to 12th, but Lindsay may have other problems. Right now it's a Ford-dominated event. 1, 2, 3, Robinson, Watts, Ogle, all in Ford Mustangs. Fastest Chevrolet is Dakota Pischke in 4th. And as far as fastest Toyotas, we don't have one, as there are no Toyota Camrys that came out to this event. So it is a classic Ford versus Chevy showdown. Say that 5 times fast. Lindsay not able to close the gap as quickly as he wants to Cottingham, but Henry Besaw is going to follow that number 24 machine forward. Oh no, Eddie Jones has problems. Eddie Jones has binned it. Trying to get on pit road. Let's see what happened here to Jones. Very uncharacteristic. McDaniel and Hastings coming down pit road. It looks like he was getting set up for the entry. Too much speed. Cooks it into pit road, and oh, this is going to be a violent one into the safety, or excuse me, the tire barrier. Marking the entrance to pit road, so Jones now having an uphill battle. Jones, McDaniel, Hastings all on pit road. He's going to put Robinson, Watts, Ogle, your top 3. Joey Buscemi also coming down pit road for a green flag stop. This should, in theory, be their last stop of the evening. Robinson's going to stretch it out as long as he possibly can to put himself in a good position, barring any cautions. No, I take that back. That is the end of the run for Robinson. Let's see, does Watt stay out a little while longer? He does not. Down pit road as well as Tom Ogle. Dakota Pischke, though, is going to opt to stay out, number 1 machine. Pischke's been out on track for about 48 laps on this run. And again, seems like drivers more so coming down pit road to have fresh tires underneath them more than the fuel actually matters here. So Pischke, Garisco, Glass, Lindsay, Cottingham, your top 5. Stay out a little bit longer than the rest of the field. Watts, Ogle, Besaw rolling out of pit road. Eddie Jones is going to be on that pit stall for an extended amount of time to try and get things fixed. Henry Besaw down on pit road as well. So that's going to put 7 drivers on the lead lap with this strategy, this pit stop play. Josh Robinson looking in a very good spot here in the 99 machine. He is still 6th on the lead lap after his, what we believe will be final pit stop tonight. Brian Lindsay trying to get around Brian Glass. Lindsay does have 5-lap fresher tires underneath him. Glass came down pit road lap 49. Lindsay lap 54. Lindsay comes down pit road. Glass opts to stay out. Pischke continues the charge up in front. He will come down pit road. Robert Garisco, will he follow suit? Number 28 machine. As this will give the lead back to Josh Robinson. Dakota Pischke hitting his pit stall. Garisco down pit road is your race leader. That's going to put, for certain, Josh Robinson as the top dog once more. Trying to see who's within striking distance of Robinson. I think it's going to be Tom Ogle showing in second once these green flag stops work themselves through. So I believe it's going to put, no, it's going to be Michael Watts showing eventually in second, Tom Ogle third. Garrett Cottingham on the board at second now in the 77 machine, but has not been down pit road since lap 50. Robinson showing as your race leader. He's 5 seconds ahead of Garrett Cottingham. Let's talk more about Cottingham as we get ready to wind down this race. The 77 machine maybe hoping for a late race caution here, as he is just one of few drivers who has yet to come down for that final stop. We just saw something. Dwayne MacArthur back in 23 still has pace. Put down the fastest lap of the race at 23.32. Unfortunately, a whole lot of laps down, 37 laps down to be precise. As there's Cottingham losing spots to Watson Ogle. Cottingham most likely getting set up for a pit stop here rather soon. Now Watts in the playoff, Ogle in the playoff. Josh Robinson not a playoff contender, but still out here for the guts and glory. Robinson, after a very extended break from June, has not had a win since May 29th. And to be fair, I think those stats would be a little bit different if Cottingham had run the duration of the season, not taking a extended break is what we're going to call it. Ogle holds on to the third place spot. Let's see who else is. Dakota Pischke not in the chase playoff. Greg McDaniel is, as he sits in 6th. Robert Garisco also not in the chase. It's going to be very interesting to see how the points shape up after this one's all said and done. The green flag stops all just about completed. I don't see anybody who has not been down pit road for their final stops of the night. And we've only got 9 drivers in the lead lap as Josh Robinson clicking off laps, making it look easy here. And I believe Robinson may be catching up to Daryl Winninger to put that number 15 machine a lap down. Hard Charger out on track still. It's going to be Brian Lindsay in 11th. The number 24 machine eases up 14 positions. John Hastings up 13 spots gained so far tonight. As we pan to Winninger running 9th up 10 positions. Just barely ahead of race leader Josh Robinson, fighting to stay on the lead lap. Robinson, your race leader, came down pit road on lap 99. Winninger on lap 98. So very similar tire strategies here. Robinson being hesitant to close the gap too quickly. Wants to keep the clean air for the remaining 35 laps. And does not want to put himself in the vortex of danger. While this is going on, it looks like we may have a battle for second shaping up. Michael Watts, Tom Ogle. Separated by 0.2 of a second down the backstretch here at Homestead. Ogle has a big run against the 84 machine. The orange and white pumpkin spice white claw back number 11 versus the Lowe's blue and yellow 84. Ogle not able to get the run he wants, but again, this is a tough spot for the drivers to be in. Not wanting to push too far forward. Oh, a little bit of lap traffic coming into play. That is the 119 machine of Victor Ryan up on the high line, holding his line well, allowing second and third place drivers Watts and Ogle to get through nice and easy, uncontested. Well done to Ryan, knowing, hey, let's hop out of the way here, play it safe, play it easy. And still Ogle in hot pursuit of Michael Watts' 84 machine. I do wonder what the strategy call is here amongst these drivers. Watts holding on to it here. Ogle falling off ever so slightly. More traffic to play in. Either driver wanted to push too hard too early here, put themselves in danger. Watts up along the inside line. That's Alan Wanamaker's 74 machine. Ogle looks like he's going to get through clean here as well, not losing too much time to Michael Watts. Second and third place drivers, the only drivers separated by less than a second out on track at this point of the run. Two-tenths separating our second and third place driver, Michael Watts, Tom Ogle, running almost identical lap times, working traffic together. Ogle finally making that pass against Watts. Does the number 11 machine put his head down, try and hammer out the final 25 laps? Or is Watts going to be able to fire back? Watts closing the gap once more to 0.3 of a second. 26 laps left to go here at Homestead. Ooh, a big run from Watts. Trying to go low-high, carry as much speed as he can to close the gap. Ogle holds on to a 1/4 of a second advantage. Watts closing the gap now to about 1/10.5. It grows back to a 1/4. Out of all the drivers out on track, this is hands down the closest one, the closest battle we have underway. And Ogle needs every point he can get for this final couple of rounds of this championship before we whittle it down to 4 drivers where we will cap things off. Ogle may be in a very good spot here to lock himself into the next round. He was our points leader coming into tonight, just ahead of Dwayne MacArthur. MacArthur had that terrible misfortune on lap 1. Ogle holding on to it just ever so slightly. 23 to go with the 23 of Robinson still leading the charge, just about 6 seconds ahead of Tom Ogle. Ogle has not had a chance to breathe here as he's got Watts right behind him. Oh, this is going to be close. Both drivers can't afford any mistakes. Ogle pulls it up to 0.3 of a second. All the while, Robinson extending his lead up front. Now look at this, Dakota Pischke, seemingly coming out of nowhere. The number 1 machine has closed the gap to the second and third place drivers, Ogle and Watts, 0.4 separating Pischke from Watts. He may be able to sneak his way onto a podium here in that number 1 machine. Let's see what the lap time's update to. Pischke about 0.2 faster than Michael Watts ahead of him, but now he's going to have that dirty air to contend with. That could be all the difference. Now, barring any sort of cautions, Robinson's good to go. And here we go, the battle for third. Dakota Pischke looks to the inside line against Watts. Watts shuts the door. You can see Brian Glass, the 87 machine, he's a lap down from this battle. But Watts, who had his head forward for this run, trying to catch back to Ogle, suddenly going to have to go on the defense. Ogle stretches that gap to 0.8 of a second above the 84 machine. Oh, there's Pischke once again trying to get a corner and a nose in the inside line of Watts. Pulling up alongside the 84. They're side by side, bumper to bumper. Pischke shows ahead by 100th of a second. Does Watts have the momentum? Pischke has 4-lap pressure tires underneath him, and the number 1 machine, Dakota Pischke, is going to work his way up into third, the final podium spot. But during this side-by-side battle, Tom Ogle has pulled a 1.3 second advantage. Does Pischke have enough time to close the gap to that White Claw Back's number 11 machine? The other question is, will we see a late race caution? We've seen it before here, throwing a wrench into drivers' plans. Pischke put an 0.8 gap on Watts. But closing the gap to 0.7 to Tom Ogle. Pischke on a fantastic run here late in the race. There we go. You can just see the bright orange number 11 of Ogle. As Pischke continues to put his head down, charging forward. Grandpa Pischke, as he's so passionately called by the fans. Now the gap between second and third place driver, a half second. A 1/4 of a second separating Ogle from Pischke. Ogle sees that rearview mirror and knows the number 1 machine charging from behind. I don't think it's going to be a long-lived battle. Pischke looks to the inside line, heading into turn 3. Will he be able to make a lunge at it? Ogle carries a little bit more corner speed on that middle groove, pulling back a 0.2 of a second advantage. But looks like Ogle gets a little bit loose there. Here comes Pischke. Ogle's going to hold on to it here at the line, but Pischke in absolute hot pursuit. He's side by side into turn 1. Pischke showing as your second place driver now. And Pischke will work his way up into second. Now last time by, Pischke was less than a tenth faster than Josh Robinson, your race leader. So I don't think he's going to be able to make something happen against the 23 machine, barring any late race shenanigans, a caution, or some sort of misfortune. At least it'd be misfortune for Josh Robinson, that 23 machine. Glenn MacArthur is back down pit road. He's passed just about everybody he can pass and made up all the spots, moved up into 21st after that lap 1 misfortune. MacArthur just trying to salvage every single point he possibly can. As Pischke has more traffic to contend with, that's number 26 machine of Lloyd Moore. Moore running 20th out on track. Let's check back in with Josh Robinson. That looks like it may be Jonathan Green's 37 machine going up to the high line. Yes, it is. Robinson working through traffic, 9 laps left to go. That looked like Greg McDaniels, Kimball.net. He's running 7th, about to go a lap down. Oh my goodness, Robinson putting most of the field a lap down here. Having to be careful not getting too close or putting himself in a precarious position. Robinson currently holding a 6.7 second gap over the rest of the field. Seven laps left to go. Robinson has made it just 6 drivers on the lead lap. The field fairly spread out. Still a little bit of racing going on, though. Brian Lindsay trying to close the gap to Lee Warsdale in 10th. You've also got Garrett Cunningham trying to close it up to Brian Glass in 12th. Also looks like John Hastings getting pressure from Daryl Winninger. So, as I said that, Winninger tags the outside wall. I just heard it on the right side headset up here in the broadcast booth. Looks like Winninger was on a good run, but we'll have that work undone. And that's the last thing Josh Robinson wants here is a late race caution as we're 4 to go. He holds on to a 6.3-second advantage over Dakota Pischke. Tom Ogle still in third. And Michael Watts, Joey Buscemi rounding out the top 5. Three laps left to go here at Homestead. Josh Robinson takes the white flag here at Homestead. Looking for his first win after coming out of retirement. And as the fans say, welcome back, Josh Robinson. Half a track left to go. And the number 23 machine is returning in force here. Checkered flag flies. And Josh Robinson, the number 23 back Ford Mustang, is back in the top spot. Dakota Pischke finishing second, and Tom Ogle will round out the top 3. We're going to get these drivers up here at Victory Lane after our celebration photos. And again, well done to Robinson, coming back out of retirement. His first win after rejoining. And very good to have him back here today, especially seeing that 23 machine up in the top spot. No stranger to being in the top spot. And now Josh Robinson's going to burn it down here at Homestead. I don't think Alan Wanamaker do the races over. Bringing these drivers up here into the interview room. After a fantastic race here tonight, we've got Tom Ogle. We're waiting on Dakota Pischke and Josh Robinson. And let's go ahead and get this thing going. Starting things off, it's going to be Tom Ogle in the number 11 machine. Tom, welcome back to the top 3, extending that points lead in this round of championship playoffs in a thankfully relatively clean and uneventful race for you.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really have anything to lose or gain because had locked myself in last week, which made it really like a relaxing race. And Josh is really good here. Just patience pays off here. And I kind of tried to be patient at the beginning, but then I dropped back too far. So then I kind of had to use my stuff up to get back up there. And then I kind of spent the rest of the night sort of paying the price for that.
Yeah, during that late run, you and Watts spent a whole lot of time going at it, and all of a sudden it seemed like Pischke just kind of came out of nowhere there in the last 20 laps.
Yeah, I saw him coming on tires. He had ran long each stop, so he probably had 15 or 20 newer lap tires than us. So he did a good job there. I get anxiety when everybody else pits and I'm sitting out there on old tires. It takes a lot of intestinal fortitude to hang out there.
Well, you've definitely got it. It's good to have you back up here, my friend.
Yeah,
Now, what's the plan?
thank
It's
you.
we're almost done with the playoffs. You're squarely locked in. We've got Martinsville next week. How do you think that's going to go for both you and the rest of us?
I really like Martinsville. It's a really nice track. I can kind of be aggressive there. I got nothing to lose, so it should be kind of fun to not have. I mean, I can just kind of send it next week, you know. I guess if I wreck, I wreck and go on to Phoenix.
Well, awesome, Tom. Hopefully you don't do that, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And before we let you sign off, celebrate, and hang out with the family, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make that third place possible for you?
My teammate Josh, uh, Andrew Hess, he's not here today. John and Dan had some rough luck today, but it was a good race. Thanks to Metro Ford. Thanks to you for broadcasting it. And thanks to Eddie for running me clean. I'm going to go back and watch the replay and see what happened to him. It'd be a shame if he had trouble.
Well, Tom, never, never misses a chance for a low blow. Always a pleasure talking to you, buddy, and hope to have you back up here next week.
Yep. See you next week. Have a
Thank
good
you, sir.
week.
You as well. That was Tom Ogle bringing it home in third. Up next, Dakota Pischke, lovingly called Grandpa Pischke from the fans. They're out here in attendance tonight. You've got Maria here cheering you on. Dakota, well done. It seemed like you were just clicking off drivers and making positions up as in the last 20 laps or so.
Yeah, dude. The old boy can still do it once in a while.
Yeah, every now and then, man, that was a great run, and seemed like you were one of those drivers running a little bit longer each and every stop, and seemed like you historically over that race had some of the freshest tires compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I got to thank my teammates for that. Dwayne helped me out with that one. I just figured that the track would cool down and get a little faster, so I ran a little longer the first couple. So it worked out.
Well, glad it did. Up 4 spots, a relatively clean race car. And were you worried with that opening caution that it was going to be a long night for you and the other drivers?
Honestly, I came into this race this evening and told my teammates, I said, I got nothing for you guys today. So I honestly don't know how I did it.
Well, it was a lot of fun to watch, Dakota. Always a good time having you up here, and I know the fans appreciate it as well. And before I let you sign off, who do you want to give a shout to that helps make second place possible for you?
I just want to thank all the sponsors and the league itself. A lot of talented drivers out here. Crazy how talented they are. I want to thank my wife Maria for letting me do this thing. She encourages it actually, and also thank family near and far for their support.
Awesome. Dakota, always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. Hope to have you back up here next week, and congratulations on a very clean and well-earned second place tonight.
Hey, thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Dakota Pischke bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, the return of Josh Robinson, the top spot. Josh, welcome back, and good to see that number 23 machine proudly out front.
Thanks, James. Happy to be back.
Yeah, man, it's been since, I believe, May was the last time we had you up here in the top spot. A bit of a hiatus, but coming back out late in the season and showing you still got what it takes to run up front here at the Metro Ford Cup Series.
It was a lot of fun. It was, as I'm sure you guys saw, a little slippery out there. So it was, you had to, trying to remember, there was an old game we used to play that said you had to keep an egg under that throttle.
I think I remember that one as well. Yeah, having to be very gentle. as the sun started to set here at Miami, did the track start to come in and give you a little bit more traction, or was it pretty snap loose out of 2 and 4 the duration of the evening?
It seemed to stay pretty loose no matter what the where the sun was on the track. But that made it fun. The dynamic weather makes it adds a new element to it, and it's a lot of fun to accommodate that.
And Josh, you were able to escape the lap one caution where we saw a few fast drivers have to go home early. Were you worried that this was going to be a bit of a caution filled evening, or were you also worried about a late race caution kind of negating that run you had built up?
You know, it's always in the back of my mind that it can happen, but this league prides itself on running a lot of green flag laps, so it's more rare to have a caution than it is to not.
Well, very well said. I guess my final question for you, Josh, is what's the plan for 2023? Are we going to see that number 23 machine as a full time driver once more?
Game plan is you'll see the 23 here.
Awesome, Josh. Always a pleasure talking to you. Great having you back in the top spot. Hey, just great having you back in any sort of capacity. So, welcome back in the most demanding, or excuse me, commanding fashion possible. And before I let you sign off and celebrate, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send off of the day. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make this win possible for you?
Shout out to the admins. This a lot of work goes into making the league possible. Shout out to my teammates, and one of the reasons to come back too is to make sure that 11 isn't up front. So, just it's so much fun running with these guys. It's just good to be back.
Awesome. Good to have you back, Josh. Congratulations once more, and hope to be talking to you more in the coming weeks.
Appreciate it, James. Have a safe trip back.
You as well, sir. Thank you. That was Josh Robinson in the top spot, accompanied by Dakota Pischke second and Tom Ogle finishing third. A great race here at Homestead and a lot of clean racing, and good to have that 23 machine back at the top. As always, on behalf of the Old Bachelors Racing League, Metro Ford Cup Series, emetroford.com, Victor Lane Sports, Kimball.net, and Dr. Amy the Thyroid Fixer. My name has been James East on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for showing up, supporting the league, supporting the broadcast, and supporting your favorite drivers. I'll see you at the next one. Have a great day, everybody.